Hello everybody, welcome to game number 4, this time with audio. In the new players tournament, I'm Shelepicgaming, joining me is GameSlayer, and we have a match between Dryad, who has 2 games under their belt, Windfox with 1, and Destrucktoid and Shelepicgaming are both searching, I believe, if I remember correctly. What do you think about this map, GameSlayer?
It isn't a great map for most players here. We don't have any carbon, and the iron is not in the best positions. It's all in the bottom left-hand corner, far away from most of the aluminium around. And also very well worth mentioning is that it's New Shanghai, which is a glass colony, glass starting at 80, and electronics all the way up at 200. So you might be thinking to yourself, I want to go nomad and not have to deal with the bad iron situation, but that's a lot, very expensive electronics to be upgraded with.
2 players have decided to go for the nomads, and it's going to be interesting to see
if they can
they get 10k to get to the upgrade, because right now they only have 3k for Windfox.
Shelepic's not even figured out how to put his second. There he goes. He put his second nomad HU there. That's fine.
So
that's fine. Next aluminium is all it needs.
Watch these numbers here. 10k to get to the upgrade for both of those nomads. Meanwhile, Destructoid, inside the crater instead of outside, and that is a small crater.
Inside the crater with lows, just lows.
Yeah, this wasn't the easiest map to found, to be fair,
Did
but...
he crush the medium?
Maybe? Was there medium?
I think there was a second... I think there was a medium in that he crushed.
Yeah, then definitely mistake to be inside the crater. That being said, first HQ2. Ahead of these nomads who are still trying to get to 10k, and then Dryad over here with the expansion.
Dryad, I think Dryad has the best found just by the virtue of being the only steel player and being allowed to be off alone in their own corner.
Yep. Okay,
we have 2 nomads who are going to overproduce aluminium, most probably.
The nomads did upgrade.
They did upgrade. They all upgraded about the same time, so they managed to get to that 10k, which is quite nice. Dryad is actually going to have one big problem that I did mention earlier, which is the glass. That is going to be quite a problem for them. No, it's neither of the silicon.
Going into silicon.
Neither of the silicon consumers are going to want to really be helping out with that. But there we go. Dryad gets a silicon quarry.
Destructoid has realized the errors of their way.
And they've gone immediately into chem refineries as well, which
would make some decent money quickly, but there's like this water north of you, and farms are pretty good, and they're only going to be more expensive to put down later on.
And the chemical refineries aren't even working because they need fuel, because you're not selling anything down, and so you only have $35 in the bank.
Yeah.
They can't even give you that money.
Just a handful of mistakes.
Just a handful within like the first 20 seconds of this game, but is that a... Oh, he's using the auction tile, but he forgot that there's another nomad in the game who would like the tile, so he's still having to pay a ridiculous amount of money for this.
Yeah, well, Shelepic got it for 20k.
20k? Well, at least he's going to get 2 farms up. I mean, that's not the worst thing in the world. He's got a good start going off here, let's be honest, but... This is actually something Shelepic did earlier that was a mistake, didn't he? In our very first match, he overcommitted to primary resources at the start, and he's going to do the same thing again. He's gone into 2 water pumps when he really only needs a high to operate 2 greenhouse farms. Yeah,
just a little bit too much. At least there's the auction tile to partially correct that mistake.
But 20k of debt to fix a mistake like that, it's not... You don't want to pay that for a mistake.
You do not want to pay that to fix a mistake. Windfox, on the other hand, only has 1 greenhouse farm and 2 water pumps.
Well, Destructoid has managed to get to HU3 first, with 2 carbon a second because of those chem refineries.
Dryad's just waiting for some aluminum to come in.
He's going to need to do quite some wind turbining, I think, but he can't really afford to wind turbine very easily. He's putting farms outside the crater when there's magnetic storms outside, potentially. Not the best. Dryad finally upgrading to HQ3. A bit slow because they're expansive.
Yeah, there's
but
no a way to get adjacency, so that's what they're gonna have to do. It's not nice. But yeah, putting down 2 wind turbines right about now up on this cliff face would be a good idea.
Yeah, Dryad has gone into triple solar panel. She's just doing work, right? That's going to be a lot of power money when night goes into day.
Yep.
A random strike on the electrolysis reactors. I mean, they were making a lot of money. Like, there's no scientist here, so these prices are kind of insane. Definitely want to get rid of chemical refineries to get into some of this water producing stuff here. You don't even need water pumps, Destructoid. It's kind of ridiculous.
No, water is so dirt cheap and being overproduced by pretty much everybody. Those water pumps would be much better as wind turbines.
Good quality dirt on Mars can be quite expensive, you know. Definitely more than $1 per unit. Literally cheaper than dirt.
Shelepic is on HQ4, first HQ4, and needs to go into some power, instead going into electronics, factories, and double carbon.
You have the silicon to put down solar panels instead, and that would pay you off so much better in the long run.
So does anybody have... Okay, Windfox has 2 solar panels, and then Dryad has their 3. And then no power from everybody else, so they're just going to continue to fall into more and more debt.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, I do like that Destructoid has taken our advice that we can't give.
Oh, there we go.
But he's replaced the water pumps with greenhouse farms just for now, because those water pumps were worthless in comparison to what the farms are going to be producing for now. You just got to remember to actually cycle them back into water later on. That's all.
Dangerous explosives available to the highest bidder.
Dynamite coming out. Another friendly black market for thinking machines, but these offload prices are all starting very low.
Whoa, 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 whoa! What the heck are these? Windfox is just like, I'm going to screw Shelepic up as much as possible without using the obvious EMP.
Well, there's an EMP, but that's time by Destructoid. Shelepic.
Why would you mutiny a farm? You have to. The problem with mutiny the farm is that you then have to ship water to it yourself. Also, Windfox, you've made the same mistake. Electrolysis and greenhouse farm, not that are adjacent to each other there.
Those don't give adjacency bonuses.
They don't. There's no world in which they do. You're now HQ4, but you could just... It feels like he's got this build in which at HQ3 he goes into one electrolysis and one farm, and then at HQ4 he puts adjacency on them. Might as well just go with 2 farms first and then 2 electrolysis, or vice versa.
Right.
That just makes you so much more money.
And then Shelepic has the build where they go way too much into primary resources early.
He goes into 2 aluminiums and 2 water pumps at the start, no matter what.
Well, Shelepic is finally going into some power, and lucky for them, the power price has stayed rather high. Destructoid HQ4 moving into a bunch of electrolysis reactors, deciding to completely ignore power. Has auto
Dryad at this point might want to put down a 4th solar panel here, because they've not actually managed to carve through as much debt as they would like to have. Because they are using a lot of power in the night, and they do have have some freighters that are required. Not a lot, just
Patent Lab and thinking machines, perhaps.
Okay.
You can turn that back on.
You can turn it back on. He's turned it off, and he needs to turn it back on now.
The black market is online.
Anyway.
Okay, well he did turn it back on. He just now no longer has money. He has no money flowing in, and I don't think he realizes that you need to that you can press Alt to bring them, and then things will start shifting back to you. We talked about how he needs to remember to put water pumps back down. This would be a great time for him to put water pumps back down. Right.
Yeah, good time to switch back, rotate correctly. Well, teleportation, if Destructoid wasn't in C debt, this would be perfect.
Oh, he wants this so bad. There are Cook the Books available.
Yeah, Cook the Books.
Could potentially get away with it. all three players are actually in
32k. I mean, needs it to win, but it's not going to be fun.
It's worth it. It is absolutely worth it. Because suddenly all of that money goes into his pocket, and then he can afford to actually put in... He can now actually afford to use his buildings.
Water!
For water! Destructoid, transition into water!
Plant
Water, you have... There we go, he's putting into water.
Shelepic is buying into Windfox right now, has a lot of money, got hit by one EMP. Dryad's
but that's freezing his
to
power, which is not his... It's not the thing that he's producing.
Which,
the triple water pump actually helping Shelepic this time around. He's actually was able to use that water price that was so high because of Destructoid to great effect here, and he's going to get this by. Windfox is not defending himself.
No, Windfox has all their money tied up in this patent for the most part.
Don't have enough. They don't have enough water online. Wow, Destructoid just completely killed Windfox here. Windfox just was not operating off of nearly enough water this game, and all of his buildings got turned off when water spiked.
Is open for business.
Yeah, this puts Shelepic in a good position right now if they can keep their debt under control.
Dryad needs very desperately to just get as much money as possible, which they're doing very well with these glass kilns, and then just buy Destructoid. Destructoid is at D+4 debt. You need to just buy him now before Shelepic does.
Yeah, you can just... Yep. Buy Destructoid.
Although, then again, Shelepic has no money right now.
Yes, that's what I was just going to say. Moving into the D+1 Shelepic also secures you the win even better than Destructoid, and if Shelepic
that's very true. Shelepic has this unfortunate problem where he's having to wait for his water to ship, but, I mean, he's making money on water now. He is making the money. Will he make it in time? Dryad, though, is also making money, particularly off of this glass kilns.
This is going to be very close.
Looks like Dryad's going to manage to get it just in time. And that's actually probably going to be the win for Dryad since Destructoid's killed themselves.
But Dryad just needs to realize.
Oh no, Dryad, you've got to cancel.
Buy.
Billing.
Oh no! Well, they still get it anyway, but that was way closer than needed to be.
Oh, that was close. Okay, Destructoid's dead though, so I think that's basically game. He's turned everything into solar panels.
The power price is still so ridiculously high that
Dryad never made money off of the power either. They put down the solar panels and just couldn't make a dent in the price.
Did they ever go for... they didn't go for superconductor.
Bidding closed.
They have this patent lab and it's sitting over here, and power's so high, and it's connected right to their base.
How is he supposed to go into superconductor? He's in a crater!
No, I said Dryad.
Oh, Dryad, okay.
Yeah, Dryad should have gone into superconductor a long time ago.
Absolutely.
First,
so long
instead
ago.
of financial instruments or slant drilling.
So long ago, but this is kind of hilarious that Destructoid just killed both players because he raised the price of water and lowered the price of all of the other life support that was making everyone else the money. And then Dryad's just sitting here with, I'm in glass, I'm in steel, I'm in my markets. What's going on, guys?
I have 3 water pumps, what's the matter? I mean, it almost worked for Shelepic, but then they overextended themselves just a little bit.
It was the black market. They just couldn't handle the fact that the black market shut down a lot of their tiles, unfortunately, and they just weren't making enough from the rest of them to make up that amount. One of the biggest problems of buying someone else out and you haven't defended your stock first is that your own stock becomes much more expensive.
Right.
So now, in that way, it works against you.
Fair to Shelepic, when they started the buy, Dryad went up, upgraded, and only had 5k cash on hand, so it looked like they were okay.
What goes on in there?
Absolutely. I mean, I definitely would have taken that if I was Shelepicg. The difference is, though, I would not have also been in solar panel. Well, maybe I would have. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. Those 2 carbon quarries, though, definitely a mistake in this game. Carbon was going to be decently priced, but you only need to put into 1 for now. You could always rotate a second one into by being a nomad, right? You can always just put something into a quad, like turn that into a quad of food, and then use your return a claim later to put it back into carbon if you need to. All right, and that's the game for Dryad.
Yep.
A very nice Rube Goldberg machine right there.
Yeah, some things to clean up You know, go for superconductor when electricity is that expensive. But the destrucktoid, yes, don't found in a crater. And that'll found outside of that crater, and that scavenger might have actually worked up towards closer to where all the water is. And then remember to switch back into water after you switch out of it in time. Then the Wind Fox could have defended themselves if they weren't researching the patents, so always remember to check your patents when somebody's buying into you. And do make sure to check what the cash on hand is for other players when you upgrade from HQ 3 to 4 and then HQ 4 to 5.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say, Windfox, again, you need to work on that mid-game. Get rid of whatever build you're planning here. You don't want to get one electrolysis and one greenhouse farm. Go into 2s, at least.
Correct. Want to always go into pairs.
At the minimum.
Unless you're talking about primary resources, then you can sometimes get away with just going into one single high.
Hey, can sometimes get away with just going to one high, Shelepic.
Or one low, in Shelepic's case, for carbon.